Thank you, folks. You're too kind. Folks, welcome to another Loot Crate review. I'm your host, as always, Magnus Deacon. Today we're going to take a look at NewAge H16, H17, and H18 the cone heads. Beelzebul, Mammon, and Mephisto. Folks, I'm going to tell you right out of the gate, chances are you're probably going to see these are Loot Crate approved at the very end, because I've told people for the last few days that I am totally convinced that whoever designed these three is a mad genius, just because of some of the transformation elements involved. And I'm going to be honest that I'm totally impressed with these three in particular. Just because of that, I'll get into that after, as I start showing them off. But folks, let's dive right into it and take a look at these three.
Just give the order. Megatron and I'll weld that traitor to the wall.
You so brave now. Too bad your courage does not hold up under fire.
Now folks, here we have the cone heads still in the clamshell, and we're taking a look at this because why wouldn't you? Here they are in all their packaged glory with all the nice little bits and bobs that they come with. You can see I didn't mention this in the last review, and I should have, but if you look in the back, you can see the blast effects and the afterburner effects, which that's what I call them, just afterburner effects, that you can stick in the thrusters at the tail end of the plane to make it look like they're mid-flight. You can also see, if you look carefully, and I'll go into this later, there's a little small extra little package of blast effects in there. That's the yellow thing you can see inside there, and I'll go into those a little bit later. But they also have little missile bits that cover the blasters, that go on the bottom of the wings to make them look like the missiles. You'll get an up close and personal of those when I actually show you, them on their stands, and in the, when I show one of the bots later. But you can see they've each got their own blasters, their own posed hands, and they also, they have their bits of the space bridge stands, and I'll show those all put together later on with all the thrusters and blasters and everything else. But folks, that's them in their clamshell. Let's get ready to open these up and take a look at the bots in their glory.
Could be trouble.
Now folks, taking a look here at the bot modes, these three are a very gorgeous set, and they look really nice as far as I'm concerned. I love how how they compose and move and the way they look. You can see those nice little blast effects on the ends of the cannons. And honestly, for those of you who missed it, for those of you who are kind of new to the Loot Crate, you can see my little Magnus's Loot Crate measuring stick in the center. That is, for those of you in the United States, it's exactly to the letter 3 inches tall. For those of you in European countries or who use the metric system, that is 76.2 centimeters. They're pretty decent little size compared to most of the car bots that you see coming out of NewAge. But they are a very nice set, and I'm just thrilled with these guys. I'll go into more detail though about the wings, because the wings are a special part of the transformation there, and it's just a work of mad genius. I'm going to keep saying that, but it's just this work of mad genius. Now I probably should have put Dirge's the little smaller wings up, because that would have been more cartoon accurate. However, just for the showing them off on the turntable, I think they look pretty good as is. So folks, let's go into more detail about that, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Now folks, for checking out the bot mode, I went ahead and transformed old thrust here, because just to give you an idea, and you can supplement this to the transformation tutorial that I did for Leviathan Thundercracker. But these guys, now the little bit where the back folds up and those pieces go in is the same. Most of the transformation is exactly the same. However, now this is the part where the mad genius comes in. These wings on his legs, they fold up and tab together. When you transform them into jet mode, this wing folds over, and it has the little bit here. Seriously, that's why I'm saying these guys are mad geniuses, because they figured out a way. You don't have to open up the back of the leg and fold anything over. To get the cartoon accurate bot modes, they just simply, made it where you could just tab these guys, fold it over and tab, if I can find the tab, but just tab it into the backs of the legs. And that is just, like I said, it's a work of a mad genius, because it works so well. And it gives the whole cartoon accuracy thing. Now, I'll show this again in a jet mode, but the top of the head, also the top of the cone head folds back to smooth out the bottom of the jet mode. It is just, seriously, this is the work of a mad genius. Now, they do have the same waist articulation, and they have similar posability problems, I wouldn't really call it problems, limitations maybe, but the limitations in the posability are just, to me, any lack of posability is just a chance for your imagination to come up with a way to fix that, to circumvent it. But these guys, seriously, other than the minor differences in how you transform the wings and fold them over, all three have a different transformation, and it, like I said, it's the work of a mad genius, because same transformation overall, just totally different way to transform the wings. And I'll show you a little bit more about that when I show you the jet modes. And speaking of which, let's go ahead and have at it.
After them!
Alright folks, rolling right along, here we have the Coneheads in their jet mode. Now these are very gorgeous representations of the jet modes of the Conehead Seekers. And as you can see, these three also come with the same stands. Yeah, you can hook them all together and create the space bridge from the G1 cartoon. You can also see on the backs, once again, they have all the clips and everything inside the little stands to make them stands for bot mode or jet mode. And if you look on the wings of these guys, the reason I don't have any blast effects on the blasters, those pieces clip over the blasters. I'll show you that here in a minute, but those pieces clip over the actual blasters to give them the missile look. Now, I don't know if somebody came up with this after they had already created the original three Seekers, because those guys have swap out missiles. But this was a great idea, to be completely and totally honest. I love the way it's done. But that is just, these guys are just a nice set, and I don't dish out praise willy-nilly, but because you have to really impress me to get me to get me to talk like this about figures. But folks, I'll show you a little bit of a close-up here in a minute, and I'll explain exactly what I'm talking about.
There they are! Such superb aerial agility! Truly a worthy adversary!
Now folks, I know this is a little later in the video to show you this, which you saw it in the clamshell turntable, But these little missiles, they fit right over the top of the blasters. It is a stroke of pure genius as far as I'm concerned. And like I said, you see here, the top of the cone head just folds back to smooth out the bottom of the jet mode. And it is like I said, stroke of pure genius. Now I'm going to take the guns off, and show you guys how I was talking about the wings folding up. Now when you transform these guys, you want to pop the wings out of their tabs first, but you just pop these out, and then you can, let me see if does it require me to do anything else weird? There we go. You just fold it, you can fold this backwards, fold this up to compact down the wing, and then check this out. You just slide that forward, and it kind of locks itself into place just to create sort of the shortened wing like in the cartoon. I'll probably throw up, just his bot mode, but just for the cartoon accurate effect, you can just fold the wings right back, right over, and then of course the wing itself is on a hinge, so you can kind of angle it to give it that more cartoon accurate look. But folks, I'm gonna tell you right now, I am totally in love with the cone head versions of the Seekers. I mean, I was impressed as all hell with just the Seekers, but these three really get it going. And I haven't done the sticker work on these yet because I haven't really had the time. But folks, these guys are totally worth picking up. They're a 3-pack. So for the $100 right around that I spent for these guys, I am totally pleased with that purchase. And right here, you see the gun and the missile just fit right together, like I mentioned in the clamshell section, and that is just a stroke of genius. Now, again, you can't really use the odd little blast effects without these, with these on, but you can pop them off. And speaking of which, I mentioned these earlier, the separate extra blast effects. Now there's only 3 of them, and one little sort of a small one. I'm loath to take these out of the package to show them to you, just because I don't want to lose them. But you've got this little blast effect, and then these 3 sort of lightning looking blast effects, like the ones that came with their Megatron, Agamemnon. But folks, just as hard as I can go, these guys are totally Loot Crate approved to the nth degree. Now, just as an aside, before I end this video, I might go back and make sort of a rules of my reviews video, just to give you an idea of exactly what I'm looking for, what I count as good, bad, or sideways, and show you the approvals and the disapprovals. I've only got 3 of them, so that might be something I'll do in the future. If you want me to, folks, just put it in the comments. But for right now, folks, that is it for the NewAge Coneheads. I will see you next time.
Find these figures and more at ShowZStore. Links in the description.